In the world of steel and metal, there's this one constant battle, right? It's filtration. And it costs a fortune in downtime and, let's be honest, just major headaches. So today, we're going to dig into this clash between old, aging equipment and the crazy new demands being put on it. And more importantly, we'll look at what some real, practical solutions actually look like on the ground.
I mean, does this question hit a little too close to home? If you're in the steel and metal industry, I'm willing to bet the answer is a big yes. You're constantly pushing for more output, more efficiency, all while using machinery that's, well, been around the block a few times. A very long time.
And listen to this quote, because it really just nails the problem. You're dealing with 30–40% more capacity than what it was designed for. So see, it's not just you. It's not just in your head. Plants everywhere are pushing their equipment to the absolute breaking point, way, way beyond what it was ever meant to handle. And that right there, that's the core conflict we're going to unpack today.
All right, so here's the game plan. We'll start with that old equipment, new demands problem. Then we'll look at some common and, frankly, painful filtration failures. From there, we'll talk about a different way of thinking, moving beyond just the filter to a real partnership. We'll get into the specific solutions for steel and metal, and then, and this is the big one, we'll talk about why all of this really matters. Okay, let's get right into it. Old equipment, new demands. This is really the core conflict happening in plants today. That massive pressure to hit new production numbers with equipment that's, well, let's just say it's seen better days.
You know, the thing is, a lot of these steel and metal plants are legends. They've been the backbone of the industry for decades. But that's a double-edged sword, right? Because it also means that the guts of the operation, the filtration systems, the bag houses, all of it, are often outdated and just plain worn out after years and years of nonstop hard work.
So what happens? What's the result when you push this old equipment to the brink? Well, you get failures. And they're usually predictable, and they're always costly. Let's look at a couple of real-world examples to see what this actually looks like on the plant floor.
Okay, case study number 1. We're at a steel plant out in Colorado. They've got this reverse air bag house, and they start seeing their differential pressure just creeping up, getting stubbornly high. And the cause? Surprise, surprise, it was exactly what we'd been talking about. They were trying to push way more tonnage through the system than it was ever built to handle. And the result? You guessed it. Inefficient operation, and that constant, looming threat of a total shutdown.
All right, for a second example, we're heading to a metal facility in Oklahoma. Now here, the problem was physical. It was wear and tear. Over time, the holes in their tube sheet just got worn out. They weren't consistent anymore. What does that mean? It means filter bags were literally popping right out of place. Or even worse, dust was just bypassing the filter completely. We're talking major emissions problems and the kind of maintenance nightmare that nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to deal with.
So check this out, because the solution here is so simple, it's brilliant. It's really a tale of two cuffs. The problem was the old fiberglass ones, they were just too rigid. They couldn't create a good seal on those worn, inconsistent holes. But the solution? Switching to an aramid felt cuff. It's a more flexible material, it has a little more give, so it can create a perfect seal even on those imperfect holes. Problem solved. No more bags popping out, no more bypass.
And this really brings up a crucial point. To get a real long-term fix for these kinds of problems, you can't just flip through a catalog and buy a new part. It's not about that. It's about a fundamental shift in how you think about your suppliers. It's about moving from a supplier to a problem solver.
Yeah, and this quote really just sums up that entire philosophy. We're partners. It's about moving away from that simple, here's your part, see you later kind of relationship. The goal is to build a real partnership, where the supplier's #1 job is to dig in, understand your unique problems, and then do whatever it takes to help you fix them for good. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, it's a consultative process. It's not guesswork. Step 1, someone comes on site to actually see the problem with their own eyes. Step 2, that's followed up by lab work, a technical review to really understand the science of what's going on. Step 3, then you get a custom product selection, something designed for your issue, not just an off-the-shelf part. And finally, Step 4, expert installation and training, because a solution is only good if it's put in right and your team knows how to manage it. You got to make sure the fix actually sticks.
Okay, so we've talked about the why and the how. Now let's get into the what. How does this whole partnership idea translate into an actual toolbox of solutions? Let's look at the right tools for the job, specifically for the steel and metal world.
And the key here is that this isn't a one-size-fits-all game. Not at all. Remember that high-pressure problem in Colorado? The solution there was a high-flow LD membrane.
And for those worn-out tube sheets in Oklahoma, the mid-felt cuff was the hero. In other situations, you might need something like sonic horns to help shake the dust cake loose. And the glue that holds all of this together is that on-site technical help, making absolutely sure the solution gets put in right the first time.
So you might be asking, what's the real difference here? Well, it really boils down to three big things. First, everything's made right here in the United States. And that's huge because it leads directly to point number 2, faster, lower lead times. I mean, when your plant is down, waiting weeks and weeks for a part to come from overseas, that's just not an option. And third, and we keep coming back to this, it's that hands-on, on-site technical help. That's the difference between just patching a problem and actually solving it.
Okay, so we've gone through the problems, we've looked at the solutions, but let's get down to brass tacks. Why does this matter? What's the real payoff for you and your team, the people who are actually in the trenches dealing with this stuff every single day?
If you're a plant manager, listen up. For you, it all comes down to the numbers, right? Performance and profitability. Every single minute of downtime is money walking out the door. So when you use a higher quality product that's actually fitted right and solves the root cause of the problem, you get equipment you can count on. And that means less downtime, more tonnage, and a much, much healthier bottom line. Now for the maintenance manager, the benefits are huge, but they're a little different. Fewer failures means your people spend less time inside the baghouses. And let's be real, that is tough, miserable work. So you're keeping them safer and you're reducing the stress on your entire team. Plus, you're stopping that one little failure that always seems to snowball into a whole cascade of bigger, uglier problems. And finally, for the environmental manager, this whole approach is a direct line to better compliance and peace of mind. A better product that creates a perfect, bypass-free seal means one thing above all else: lower emissions. It's about getting away from just scraping by and meeting the standard. It's about having real, solid confidence in your systems, knowing you are comfortably within your environmental permits day in and day out.
So we'll leave you with this one thought to chew on. Is your filtration supplier just a vendor, or are they a true partner in your performance? In an industry where uptime is literally everything, just having a company that sells you parts, well, it's not really enough anymore, is it? The real game changer is having a partner who rolls up their sleeves, invests the time to understand your unique challenges, and is dedicated to actually solving your problems. So, which one do you have?